I'll have a Guinness Zero, please, and Miles is going to have Coke Zero with ice and a slice of lemon. Miles Kane today. Good lad, good scouser. There you go, Miles.
Hello, mate.
Hiya, pal.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Nice one. Thanks for having me.
Hey, a pleasure.
Cheers.
I'm going to start at the very, very beginning.
Okay.
Right, let's start off with what we like at school.
In school, I was shy. Probably.
Yeah,
quite shy. A bit a daydreamer.
Daydreaming that you would be in a band?
Yeah. And also in school, you know, because my cousins were in the band The Coral. So our James and Ian, James had left school, but our Ian was, when I joined secondary school, he had another year or two left. So they were sort of jamming in the music room. So sort of see at lunchtime, we'd go and watch our Ian play drums, you know what I mean? And my Auntie Julie, R.I.P., she got me this little acoustic guitar when I was about 13, and you know, our James would show me chords on the guitar and stuff. That was like the first taste, I think, of me being like, yeah, I want to go with that.
So if you were a daydreamer at school, and
it's not changed. No. To be honest, mate, it's still me head goes. You know what I mean? Imagine that jacket with that on that thing. Imagine a tune like that. So it's I guess. Yeah, I guess it's just a more of a refined thing, I guess.
So if that was you at school, how did the songwriting all come together? How did you become?
So it was when it started.
Because it's not easy, is it?
No,
we all know. Anyone who's in the music industry, it's blimmin' hard work.
It is, and I joined in school. We were in I was in bands with lads in school and stuff, and we had I was just a guitarist, and we had like a rehearsal room, and you know, I was so sort of driven to sort of be in a band, should we say. And then when I was 17, there was a band in Liverpool called the Little Flames, and they had this little deal with Delta Sonic, which is a Liverpool label that the Coral were on, the Zootons. And at that time in Liverpool, there was that was a bit of a scene. There was Coral, Zootons, Bandits, Dead 60s, Little Flames, and I just joined this band as a guitarist. And that was when I left my first year of college, and my mum was like, what are you doing, what's it, you know, because again, you know, there's no manager, but I was like, I just want to do this every day. And we would go in that rehearsal room 8-10 hours a day, and that was where I learned how to play guitar properly, I'd say. And then, but in that band, I used to do BVs, but I'd get nervous, so I would kind of mime, because I couldn't sing, but I liked how it felt, you know, on the mic. Like I like the stance. Yeah. And then like some people that like they were like, yeah, you'd be a good frontman, I think you. And I was like, oh yeah, do you think?
Miles, please tell me you did that thing in front of the mirror.
Still do. Do you really? Mate, yeah, that was another thing from school as well. When my mum, because my mum would be working in the market in St John's at the butchers. And if she was working, she wouldn't get home till 6. So after school, I'd get in whatever at 4, and I'd just be blasting Libertines, you know, Strokes, all that stuff in my bedroom. And I'd be in the mirror, you know, air guitar, the lot. And my moves today have come from that.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean, mate? Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that. It is mad that it starts from singing in your mum's in the bedroom in your mum's, in the mirror to your tunes. That's the start of being an artist and being, you know, who you want to be, I guess.
Of the whole spectrum of the music industry, what's your favourite? Is it writing, studio, or gigging?
I don't know. This could change on whatever day you ask me this answer. You know, the gigs, it's like, it's ego in it, because it's like, look, you can be that guy. It's like all that stuff. That's the bit I absolutely love. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like that. In my head, it's like, you know, it's like the Rocky moment. It's like that's it, you know. It's like the hood's up, the gowns on, and it's like the entrance. And like, I love an entrance of anything, to be honest. That feeling of that, and you're like, there's that nerves, excitement. That's the feeling that you can't really describe.
Is the motivation the same? Because it must be difficult. Your early songwriting, where you're talking about your life then, to what, and now you're talking about your life now, because a lot of musicians have said it gets more difficult the more your life settles.
Of course it is, yeah, and that is true. But I think I just try and write off the feelings and the emotions, and it's all like you know, a therapy session, really. You know, it's like that's what I use, and I think every album is like it's a chapter of your life. Whatever the lyrics are, whatever the look is, whatever the style, you know, it's sort of, I'm so in it at that moment. You know
and your style has evolved.
Yeah.
I mean, as you've matured, I'd say, as a musician, your style has become notable, shall I say.
Well,
is there a pivotal moment where you thought, you know what comes with the tunes and what comes with me on stage is the style?
It's always,
the two go hand in hand,
I've always been into my clothes, and even before being in a band, we'd always wear tracksuits, and if I'm wearing a tracksuit, it's got to be the full thing. I can't just do the jacket. That, I think, was the start of me getting into clothes. And when I first got that all black Lacoste tracksuit as a kid, I was like, this is it. You know, so I have a strong vision of, again, not changed. I have a strong vision of what my style is, and I've always just done it on my own. And, you know, I love the mod look is my reset.
Yeah.
And that's the core of it. But from there, I've had jumpsuits, we've gone makeup, it's gone glam rock.
Your musical journey and your fashion journey kind of go hand in hand, they run parallel. Give us a couple of distinguished looks.
I think for stage, I'd get a lot of stuff made, you know, sort of custom and design, whether it be the shirts, the pants, but suits, the stage that it went the wildest on was when I was getting, I guess it was inspired by Bowie and WWE wrestling, where I
what
would...
a combo.
Welcome. That's me. Yeah. It was like a jumpsuit, fitted jumpsuit, zip, flared, and I had this thing of like, and it was like, it started off with eyeliner, and then it went to like, again, it was like as if it was like an X-Men, where I had this silver sort of like band, face painted on, and again, but at the time and that was just what I felt. What
are your foundations, your own personal foundations when it comes to your wardrobe? What's your staple?
It's got to be like just a classic, a good old worn-in leather jacket, vest, chains out, vintage Wrangler jeans, loafers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Again, it's just on that feeling. And even for this, you know, I've chose the pinstripe suit. I was going to do like the grey suit something, but then you put this on today and it felt, you just have to go on that feeling, you know what I mean?
Nice.
With a jacket or clothes or whatever. That's what I do anyway. Yeah.
With everyone that you mix with in the music industry, and you've got some great mates, is fashion ever a topic that comes up?
Paul Weller's a hero of mine, and like, you know, he's had my back from sort of day one, really. And we're close, and I reckon me and him probably talk about clothes more than we would. If we're having a coffee, it'd be the jacket, the clothes, look at this, what you should get that. I think we probably talk about clothes more than music.
Right, some quick fire questions.
Go on, mate.
Dead simple ones. Your favourite band?
What? T-Rex.
Your favourite gig you've ever played?
Liverpool, Manford Hall. On my Coup de Grace album, which was 7 years, there was something about that gig.
Favourite gig you've ever seen?
The one that my mum said I changed was when I was about 14, 15, went to see Super Fairy Animals in Liverpool, Royal Court.
And your top 3 music style icons?
Okay, well, Weller will go up there. Weller, a French singer called Jacques Dutronc, and Mark Bolan.
Nice. It's the festive season, Miles.
It is.
Friends, family, lots of gatherings. How would you approach a kind of Christmas do?
Well, usually I'd go up north and we'd get together with my family and we go around to like my mum's sister's house. But this year my mum she's going to come down here just as a little change of scene for her. So it'll just be me and her this year. You know, I think we're going to go out on Christmas Day. I want to take her out and, you know, treat her. And then we'll just be chilling in mine, mate. You know what I mean?
And then finally, New Year's Eve is around the corner.
Yeah.
A big night. What are you going to be going for? Are you suited and booted? Are you casual?
I'm going for, like, on the M&S vibe, I'm going to go for, like, the vests.
Oh, they're good, aren't they?
And I'd have me gold chains out with the vest and the M&S black leather, little buttons, fitted, black flares, probably, yeah.
Lovely. Nice. Love that. Miles, thank you very much.
Thank you,
really
mate.
appreciate
I love
that.
that.